As the days get shorter and the weather gets colder, I know many of us are prone to dealing with some days where the weather's impacting our mental health and emotions. And while I know fashion can't cure seasonal depression, I do know there are little things that can help us push through those funks. So today we're going to be talking about dopamine dressing and little ways to brighten up our day through fashion. Now, before I get into our examples and inspo pics, I did want to first address what dopamine is in the context of dopamine dressing. Now, a super low level explanation of dopamine is it's a hormone and neurotransmitter that plays a vital role in your brain as its reward system, so it can affect your mood, motivation, cognition, and movement. Sometimes it's referred to as the feel good hormone. Now, in 2012, Professor Karen Pine from the University of Hertfordshire investigated if wearing certain clothes could make you happier and studied the idea of dopamine dressing and found that when participants wore clothes of symbolic value to them, their perceived confidence increased. And I really love this final conclusion because a lot of people recently in like the social media landscape have been talking about dopamine dressing, but mainly through color and how the more color you wear, the happier you feel. And of course, color does have an impact on that. But if you're someone like me and not necessarily color driven during the winter, I think there's some really fun examples in here that are both people who love color, but also people who are more into the neutrals that can help give us that dopamine dressing, help us get up in the morning and feel just a little bit better with the seasons changing. Now, obviously, some of these are going to have influences of my own personal style in here because these are things that do make me happy, but I think we have a fun range because my first one is poofy maximalist style, tulle skirts, which are both two different things. I want to talk about them in tandem with one another. I saw this photo probably over a year ago on Pinterest, and I loved this poofy, oversized skirt and instantly fell in love. And it was one of those things that did influence me to get one, and I love mine. Mine's black. It's this amazing, poofy, oversized skirt. And they're just so fun and silly. And it works really well because you can wear them during winter time when you wear your thermal tights underneath. And it just brings me a little joy because in a way it's very childlike, when we loved our little tulle skirts, our tutus, or puffy skirts as a child, but it's very much the adult version of it, a little bit more formal. You can wear them to a lot of different venues and it still not feel super out there, but it's something for yourself that I don't know, lightens up your spirit a little bit. I always feel better when I put this skirt on. And I think if you've watched any of my styling videos where I bring that out to style, I think you can instantly see a shift in my mood because I love how fun it is and you feel like you can twirl around in it. And so I think the idea is here is finding something in your closet that really emotes that mood to just pure joy when you put it on. Next one's very simple, but painted nails. Despite mine not being painted right now, I am actually after this video going to paint them. And I really like a dark, moody nail during fall and winter. I love a black nail polish on. So you don't necessarily have to go out and get color. Also, you don't have to even go out to get it. I'm literally gonna grab my black nail polish from my bathroom. But I think during fall and winter is the time when you really should get your nails done. It's a little thing, I know a lot of people talk about self-care during winter a little bit more to make yourself feel better. And sometimes that feels even hard, having to do all those face masks and hair masks and extra cleaning and things like that. Whereas I think painting your nails, it's something that's kind of simple. You do it once and it actually lasts for, a couple weeks if you have a good nail polish. And so I think it's one that everyone's gonna participate in. And I think it'll be fun for us if we all have our little nails painted. Especially, take off your mitten. Hello, a fun new little color. Now, as Professor Pine stated, something of symbolic value can really help with dopamine dressing. And I instantly thought, okay, what better thing to make you feel better than something you knitted yourself or crocheted? I bring up knitting specifically because I'm working on this bad boy right now. Okay, how fun is the yarn? Don't even. I think knitting a sweater, crocheting a sweater during fall and winter is maybe the most dopamine dressing thing I could think of in my head, because it takes such a long time to do and it's really tedious and time consuming. But once you've completed a sweater and that you can actually wear throughout fall and winter, I don't think I could get much happier than that. It's the excess of also having like a hobby to do something during your free time when you can be feeling a little bit down, and then finally its ultimate, completion of it really results in something that you can feel really proud of and want to wear all the time. If you're someone who doesn't crochet or knit, I still think you can really participate in that and, find maybe someone who's on Etsy or has a small business of some sort and, help support them by buying a handmade knit or crochet sweater. And I think that is so great for dopamine dressing. If you do end up making or buying a sweater, especially if you make one, please let me know what you end up making. I love looking. I'm obsessed with Ravelry right now, if you know what that is. Obsessed. Okay, my next one for dopamine dressing is wearing fun, funky glasses. And funky doesn't even have to be that crazy. I'll show you my funky pair, and you're gonna be like, is that really funky? No, these are them. There's nothing crazy about them. I just like love that they're pink and semi-transparent. It's such a silly glasses to me. So the big thing with that though is I am someone who actually can't really wear makeup. Despite the fact that I'm wearing makeup right now, my eyes are really, really dry. And even when I'm not wearing mascara and just have makeup under here, even wearing eyeshadow, a couple hours in, they're so dry. I one time was wearing just mascara and I was at the Michael Jackson Broadway show. I literally looked like I was just so moved by the musical because my eyes got so dry that they started burning and then started crying. Um, and I was so embarrassed. It was horrible, actually. Tangent aside, the reason why I bring that all up is sometimes, during winter, also just the laziness aspect, right? When you don't want to do anything, not wearing makeup can feel like a difficult feat to do. And so a fun, sunglasses or a fun glasses or even sunglasses can really change your mood, in my opinion. You feel a lot more confident when you have them on, for me personally. Our next category is sequins and sparkles. Because yes, I do think those make my mood better. Sparkle. Sparkle. Also, kitty cat. Yeah, I dressed for the video. I dressed appropriately. Dopamine dress, dare I say. Every time I put this blouse on, I feel nothing but joy. And so, back to sequins and sparkles. I definitely notice around the holiday time, sequins and sparkles always become more prevalent, but it works very well with the season because it is something that can bring joy. I think there's so many different ways sequins and sparkles can kind of play into your outfit, whether that be accessories or a fun skirt or even just kind of some glitter on the top you're wearing. Going back, I guess, to childhood again, but yeah, that's something that was so fun as a kid. You got to, even with crafts and playing around, like sparkles and sequins is always something I wanted to include. And so I think now dressing to try and help myself with the season, what better way to do that than with something that I know has always brought joy to me since a child? And I think that's a really good strategy when thinking about the dopamine dressing of like what things really were fun to me as a kid and how can that kind of influence my fashion now? And obviously, I think accessories is one of the best way to play into some fun colors, texture, shapes into outfits, especially if you're struggling to get ready in the morning or get ready for the day. If playing around with the fashion elements of all the pieces together still feels like too much for you, I think accessories can really be that thing to help you feel just a little bit better. You have just a white t-shirt and blue jeans and your jacket on for the day. I think having even just one purse that really brings you joy, whether it be because of the shape or the texture or the design of it. And that can be your go to. It doesn't have to be a different purse every day. If that's something that you see and you say, yes, I am excited to wear this little thing that I've had, whether it be something you've owned for years, something you thrifted, a luxury purse, that one little bag you have, I think can really, help make your day a little bit brighter. And this isn't to say, tangible things are the only things to make you feel better. Of course not. I'm talking about this obviously more in the context of dopamine dressing. It's not going to solve all your problems by any means, but dealing with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, anything of the sort, it's always about the little things that you can do to help make you feel better. And so if this is one thing that can do that, by all means, then it doesn't hurt to try it out. And I guess tying the two together, but scarves, hats, mittens, and making them for yourselves, especially through knitting or crocheting, I think is the perfect way to dopamine dress for the winter. I think if you're someone who's always been curious about the crochet and knitting side, these two things are the perfect way to get started. They're so simple and easy projects. This, to me, accessories are the fun way to add color into your wardrobe if you care about the color element of it. I myself have knit and crochet a lot of accessories for myself, but you can also obviously buy some if you feel so inclined. I have this one from Verk Prinzessin on Instagram. Every time she posts, I'm like, give it to me, please and thank you. And then if you're someone who's obviously not into color as much or just want a solid color, there's some really great cashmere beanies on the market. This is the name. Accessories, I think, can really play part into winter dressing, especially when you don't want to put a lot of effort into maybe the pieces in an outfit, but the final accessories, which to me are a staple when I'm leaving the house, is in like I actually need a scarf and beanie because I get such cold ears and so cold so fast. And if they are necessary, why not have a little bit of fun with them? On the chance maybe you're in a little bit of a warmer climate or aren't really a hat person, I think funky hairstyles and ribbons are so fun. Brings me so much joy actually when I see them on other people. But also I think adding a fun little bow to the back of a ponytail or putting on a bandana especially if you're having a greasy hair day, it's kind of the perfect combination. There's so many fun little things that you can do with your hair, and while still even having simpler outfit, still with a funky hairstyle or accessory, I think can really help lift your mood a little bit and make you feel a little bit better. You put in just a tiny bit more effort up here and maybe not so much in the pieces, but that doesn't matter because overall you might feel better about it. I think a fun pop of color shoe is something that a lot of us might already have in our wardrobe, but also something I think that in your shoe lineup might be a great addition to have if you're into color in that regard. I think it could be great for, the dopamine dressing, having one little fun pop of color peeking out of maybe an all neutral outfit. As I was looking at my list, thinking about talking about it, I was thinking about what shoe do I actually wear a lot during winter. It's my Doc Martens specifically. It's a pair of platform ones, and I love wearing them. Every time I get so excited to put them on because they are a hefty shoe. More importantly, they make me feel tall and I feel so powerful whenever I'm in them. And so I guess to me, this topic of the shoe, I think it's everyone should have, that one staple shoe they have during the winter that really makes them feel, dare I say, powerful? I feel powerful when I wear my platform Doc Martens apparently. And I don't think that's gonna be the same for everyone. Like I said, it could be that pop of color shoe. Actually, I would love to know what your staple shoe of the winter is. And the bigger thing is, how does that bring you joy? Oh yeah, I love wearing those boots. I love feeling tall and powerful. So let me know what you guys have as your favorite shoe for the winter. Now, if you're someone who can kind of get yourself to actually put pieces together, you want to style things in front of you, but it's just, dealing with the sad season. I will say to you, I think just dress silly. I think put pieces together that don't make sense. I mean, I think the sillier the better. I think anything that can just spark joy for you. I'm obsessed with this photo on Pinterest so much. She is wearing basically like the Galaxy leggings, the leggings that everyone thinks it's like quintessential 2013, 2014, 2012. I forget which year it's from, but people really roast the Galaxy leggings as like that's the things you can never style ever again. And then here I am looking at it and I want this entire outfit. I think just have fun, go silly. If someone wants to say, "What the heck are you wearing?" Who cares? I'm wearing something that sparks joy. I'm wearing something that sparks freaking joy. Yeah, give it to what little you would have worn. Like when you see younger children and they have on, going back to that tutu skirt, tutu skirt with the leggings with their little crowns on. Obviously, maybe not to that extreme, but I think it's fun, and it's winter. Also, like at the very least, if you're covered up with your coat and you're not even necessarily going to take it off, all the elements underneath might be fun to you. I love wearing my Meowie Christmas shirt during actually June and July. I think that's an example of something that I really enjoy doing. But of course, I obviously wear it during Christmas time. I think I have a photo of me in a trench with it. I was so happy to wear that day. That was not a outfit that everyone walking down the streets probably was like, "Oh, she looks so good." No, that was an outfit for me. I thought I looked so good with my Meowie Christmas sweater on. And in that same vein of not necessarily having to do your whole outfit of playing into silly, I think silly shirts during winter can definitely lighten your mood. Little things like that, like I feel myself getting happier talking about them. And so it's not necessarily we have to look at, oh, forward thinking fashion, fun. What are the trends? What can we wear for this winter? I think it's really fun to look into. Like I just did my winter trends video and I had so much fun making it and seeing what's out there. I think it's really fun to like look into trends and see what's going on and enjoy that, but not every day is a day where you want to dress for the fashion world and trying to look the best. It's about dressing for yourself a lot. And if dressing for yourself means a silly t-shirt that brings you joy, heck freaking yeah, do it. I also will say with winter, it's layers galore. You can have so much fun trying out and styling different ways with your own clothing that you already own because layering can have such an impact on the final look. Modifying how you typically wear clothing is a lot easier to do during the winter time, in my opinion, than any other season. And I think it also could be a great activity for you. Play around in your closet a little bit. When someone has a really great layered outfit on, it looks exceptional. Now we're going back into a little bit more fashion forward conversations. And I've been really tempted to do maybe like a layering for dummies video, myself included. I am nowhere near anywhere how good layering can really be. And so I thought it'd be fun maybe to look into that. Let me know if you want a video on that. And this one might be my favorite one of the bunch, but wearing things that actually don't make sense for the season. Let me explain. I, for example, love a cowboy boot, and I used to wear them actually a lot during summer time, as I think most people do. in the fashion landscape. I'm not talking about real cowboy boot wearers, I should clarify here. I've really loved wearing my cowboy boots during fall and winter now. I think I actually wear them more during this season than during spring and summer. It's a little off. This is another example. I've talked about it before, but my shirts during the holidays just like feels right in my head. And I think that's so funny that, I would most willingly wear a micro short during the worst season to possibly wear it. Yet again, I'm curious if any of you have an item that doesn't make for winter time, but you tend to wear it more. I think that's so silly and fun. Well, obviously, my big question to all of you then is what do you do for dopamine dressing? How do you help make yourself feel a little bit more joyful during winter time? What do you wear? What in fashion helps brighten up your day a little bit? I'd love to know. This video is meant to be kind of taken lightheartedly and fun, but also hopefully these little things kind of help you during the winter time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, I don't know, subscribe if you're feeling crazy. I don't know. But on a real note, I hope you guys have a lovely day.